All right, very glad you could join us on the Weather Network, a special edition of In the Know for Thursday, May 16th. Joining me, Connor O'Donovan, our Alberta reporter, usually stationed in Calgary, but we find him in Edmonton this morning. Connor, what brings you to Edmonton?
Thanks, Chris. Well, as you know, we have a wildfire of concern burning up near Fort McMurray. Well, that's still a few hours away from here, but Edmonton is one of the three locations where they've set up reception centers for the evacuees who have been ordered to leave Fort McMurray. Now, that fire, as of the latest update, is still burning about 5.5 kilometers southwest of the city landfill, and weather conditions are favorable, as officials have been saying, to continue pushing that fire away from the community today. But regardless, they have that evacuation in order in place for some of those southwest communities. About 6,600 people were told to evacuate 2 days ago. They're told now that they likely won't be able to go home until Tuesday at the earliest. So some of them have come down here, and later today we'll be going to speak with some of those evacuees to see how that experience has been and how they're feeling, if there's any cautious optimism in their minds as they look at the weather forecast for the next few days.
It's got to be traumatizing. I mean, 2016 was not that long ago, of course. Now, you are in Edmonton, so you're still, you mentioned, a few hours away from Fort McMurray. Have you either seen or smelled any smoke wafting into the big city?
Well, that's one interesting thing about being here in Edmonton. You wouldn't really know, actually, right now. I know I was here last year. You mentioned 2016. We had, of course, bad wildfires here last year. I was here last year. To this day, this whole area, this whole river valley here was just smothered in smoke. But today, you know, I grew up in Edmonton. One of the best parts of spring is coming here to the river valley. You have the lilacs, you have so many trees blooming, and it just smells so good. So yeah, that's what I'm smelling right now. It's really a fresh springtime feel here. That said, though, we are expecting a bit of a shift in the winds, and so tomorrow we could see some of that smoke from the Fort McMurray wildfire, potentially some of those fires in northeast BC come this way. So I'd say if you do want to get some of that fresh river valley air here in Edmonton, today would be your best day to do it, because tomorrow you might see some concern about the air quality here in town.
Yeah, temperatures are also going to be rather on the cool side. Now, normally, Connor, May long weekend, people would probably want, you know, warmth and sunshine. But I would have to say this is not a bad forecast. In fact, this is probably very much a needed one. Has there been, I know you were at the information session at Alberta Wildfire yesterday. Are you expecting more updates going forward?
Yeah, that's right. Quite cool, and I'm just starting to see a few flecks of rainfall here in Edmonton. We are expecting some more updates today. As of last night, I believe fire officials are hoping for winds to start blowing a little more south than they were yesterday. Yesterday, they say the fire did grow, but grew to the west, so that would be away from Fort McMurray. Today, if we do expect winds, or we do see those winds rather coming from the north, then we should see some fire growth again away from the community of Fort McMurray. And luckily, there's nothing right in the path of that fire if it does blow that way in the coming days.
All right, well, we'll chat again, Connor. Thank you very much. We'll get more updates from Connor O'Donovan in Edmonton today. Widespread rain through the weekend, including northern areas of Alberta into BC, which also needs the rain. Northern Saskatchewan and Manitoba, too. You'll notice southern areas, not as much steady rain, but we have a front coming through, and there could be thunderstorms today in southern Alberta and southern Saskatchewan, tomorrow into Manitoba. We take a look across British Columbia. Now, the heaviest rain will be along the central coastal areas. Just a chance of rain for Vancouver, and down to Victoria you may not see much at all. But, you know, we're off to an early fire start in BC, so we need the rain here. And in higher elevations, we're talking above 1,200 meters, there's going to be some snow. All right, once again, for the south, it's not the steady rain, it's the risk of thunderstorms today.